Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi disagrees with Senator Elizabeth Warren on banking regulation and on the idea that the Obama administration has been too soft on Wall Street. Now, Elizabeth Warren has been saying, look, man, we haven't taken the banks to task over their role in causing the financial crisis that has essentially destroyed the middle class. Remember, since the recession, we have seen a lot of the gains, just about all the gains from the recession go back to the top, while the middle class and the poor have lost ground. Elizabeth Warren is saying, what the hell? The banks crashed the economy, and they got let off easy, and then they're back to their shenanigans. And Nancy Pelosi is saying, no. What are you talking about? I have a quote here from a CNBC interview with John Harwood. She was talking to him, and when asked by John Harwood if the president was too soft on Wall Street, Pelosi she replied, "The financial industry doesn't agree with that." Oh, okay. Well, the bankers don't agree. Let's ask the bankers if Obama was too soft. Hey, bankers, do you think Obama was too? No. Boy, they were so tough on us, man. We learned our lesson. Bullshit. They didn't learn their lesson. I like the idea that she's like, just ask the bankers. Just ask the bankers if we were too hard on them. I don't exactly think they'd say no. Do you? Exactly. Now, she also continues, now there may be a couple of people who say that, but that is not the consensus of our party. Now, this article says Warren has been a thorn in the side of Obama, of the Obama administration on all things financial. She led the charge to scuttle a top Treasury Department nominee over his extensive ties to the financial sector. And earlier this month, she went after, of course, Mary Jo White, the head of the SEC, basically for not going after Wall Street hard enough. Now, she also said, look, people will express themselves the way that they do. That doesn't mean they speak for the whole party. Now, here's a message that Pelosi is trying to say. Hey, Wall Street, forget about Warren. We don't agree with her. Keep sending us money. She's a radical. You know, we tried to get her to shut up and to know her place, but obviously she's not listening to us. But that's okay. We're going to distance ourselves from her so that we can keep getting gigantic campaign donations from you guys. And I'm going to get to that. And I'm going to get to how Hillary fits into all this in a few minutes. Now, Pelosi was in charge back in the House when Democrats pushed through Dodd-Frank. Now, Dodd-Frank, historic reform from Dodd-Frank. Of course, that would stop Wall Street from doing what they're doing. Actually, it didn't, and Wall Street's been basically paying legislatures, mostly Republicans now, to chip away at Dodd-Frank. Dodd-Frank is essentially a joke. Now, the Justice Department, of course, hailed the guilty pleas by JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Barclays, UBS, and the Royal Bank of Scotland in the LIBOR manipulation charges as a victory for discouraging banking bad behavior from the banks, right? And even Attorney General Loretta Lynch said that the penalty of more than $5 billion should deter competitors in the future from chasing profits without regard to fairness, to the law, or to the public welfare. Actually, it won't. And this is why. According to a joint investigation by the Wall Street Journal, Huffington Post, and Reuters, the 6 largest banks in this country from 2009 to 2014 paid about $130 billion in fines, settlements, and the like, stemming from the financial crisis. Now, stop right there. It sounds like a lot. $130 billion in fines. Holy shit, man. Well, but take a look at the profits. Over the same time period, according to this joint report, the banking industry took in over just over $500 billion in profit. Not revenue. Pure profit. $500 billion in profit. Do you know how much in assets that the 5 largest banks have? They have their combined assets of $6.8 trillion in assets. So in 5 years, they took in $500 billion in profits, and they paid out $130 billion in total fines, settlements, and fees for their role in the financial crisis. When you look at the numbers like that, it looks like a drop in the bucket, a slap on the wrist. And that's because it is. It is a slap on the wrist. It's not going to deter them. When you make so much money off crashing the economy, remember, their profits were down for a bit, right? After they crashed the economy, they went right down. There's no denying that. That's a fact. Okay? And then they bounced back up. Why? Because we bailed them out. The taxpayer bailed them out. And now they're even more profitable and they're bigger than ever. They haven't learned a damn thing. And the Obama administration has not been too tough on them. Those losses, according to the Huffington Post, amount to 26% of total profits. And they're even smaller compared to revenues and assets. As the Huffington Post puts it, that's enough to make, quote, occasional dents in some quarterly earnings, but not actually enough to threaten the bank's ability to function. But Nancy Pelosi wants us to ask the banks if we've been too hard on them. I don't know, ask the banks. That's a joke, man. This is an absolute joke. And where she's saying, the Democratic Party, well, obviously we don't agree with Elizabeth Warren. She doesn't represent us because we want to take money from you. We want you to keep filling our campaign coffers. We want that sweet, sweet money. And so does Hillary Clinton. And I think this ties into 2016. Hillary Clinton is going to get a lot of money. She raised $24 million. I'm sorry, no, not 24. $45 million this quarter. This campaign, SEC filings were just recently posted. Hillary Clinton raised $45 million in donations. That breaks a record. President Obama, when he was raising money for 2012, hit the record he raised from different donations, $42 million. She broke Obama's fundraising record. And let me go into some of the top donors. Now this is top donors from her entire career. And this would be top donors for her entire career. Citigroup, Goldman Sachs. Remember Goldman Sachs? You know, the place where she would give paid speeches. And where she would say things like, "Oh, don't worry. Everybody's been too harsh on you. Everybody misunderstands you. But you provide a vital function to the economy. Everybody's demonizing you guys. Well, I don't." She got that money from Goldman Sachs. Just over $700,000 in campaign donations that we know of from Goldman Sachs. JP Morgan, $620,000. Morgan Stanley, $543,000 across her entire career. Lehman Brothers, $362,000. But Elizabeth Warren, no. She doesn't speak for the Democratic Party because we want Wall Street money. And Hillary needs Wall Street money if she's going to become the next president of the United States.